Not a shadow in this little town. Lingering footsteps don't echo around. In a moment striking now, the clock will sound. It awakens us both for the night to come. Spanned across the twilight sky, dyed in the color of honey and wine. An open view invites us to. Seen on the stage, only you and I. Just and with a natural turn, leaning close, I'll cast a spell over you. Throw away and oh, sway. What's in the name? This is honeymead. Honeymoon now under twice, so we entwine our fingers while dancing along, singing, swinging, sweetest song to the tune of our dreams till break of dawn. I'll cast a spell over you. Throw away and oversway. Sweet fascination in honeymead. Honeymoon now under 12. Till I place my lips on yours while humming along, singing, swinging, sweetest song between the two of us. The tune of love. Illuminated moonlit glow, bathing this alley in liquid gold. Just the two of us alone, dancing and stumbling and laughing along. Honeymoon now under 12, so maybe entwine our fingers while dancing along, singing, swinging, sweetest song to the tune of our dreams till break of dawn. Hello, hi everyone, hi. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is AlchemizedZETHIEL, VSinger, yay, yay. Okay, so how did you all like the cover I uploaded just yesterday? Oh, it was only yesterday. Was it only yesterday? What day is it today? Could have sworn, yeah, today is Monday. I uploaded it yesterday. Wow, I'm I'm losing track of my sense of time. Anyways, so today, oh, thank you for 50 followers on Twitch. Very much thank you for that. Yes. What's next? So today we are playing an indie VN called it's a pretty short VN. I hope we'll be able to finish all of it today. I'll power through it. Don't even worry about me. So it is called It Gets So Lonely Here by ebi-hime, and it's I really enjoyed the sequel game, which is called The End of an Obsession. I first discovered it through is my mic is a little bit low, isn't it? I first discovered it through Yuzuki is the one who does, I think, a lot of the music for ebi-hime. So I discovered it through Yuzuki's video or music video of The End of an Obsession, which is the title music. Same as the name of the game. It's a really good song. I really like it. So I guess we can share that in the chat. Let me go just looking for it just a moment. ですね。Where is it? The end of an obsession. MV. Here it is. 6K views only. This song. It's really good. I really like it. So sorry. Okay. The end of an obsession. The end of sorry, it needs to be all lowercase. Music video. Sequel game to Lonely. Yes. So that's that. So I truly don't actually know what's in store for me in Lonely, but I think it will be lots of fun and we'll have a great time yandereing it up. Because we all know, I do love myself some tasty dark stuff. When you combine I love me some tragedy and all that good stuff. So let me boot up the game now. We're here. Let me just turn down my my own monitoring. That's not the right song, is it? Ooh, I only got kimi ga hoshino. Goes on down and a hop step. Non night doors. Gonna get the night. Good night. Night. Neil show. Ganon dan and do do no do da 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 da. Ooh, I only got kimi ga hoshino. Don down and a hop step. Guys, I know this. Okay. Let's actually start playing. Desho? Alright. Yeah, here we go. Is it show up? Is it going to show mobile? There we go. Yay. Yeah, I remember this motive. I heard it in Obsession. Yes. I love the music. I love the music a lot. I think we'll be fine. So, yep, totally new game. So, allow us to begin. 始まりました。始まる。私は。Alright, there we go. Okay. Let's go. You are running through a forest. It is late at night, and the sky is as black as pitch. There is nothing to light your way, save for the moon's milky glow. But its rays cannot reach you. Not properly. The trees which surround you, jutting out of the earth like eerie monuments to a foreign god, are blotting out most of the light. You cannot see where you are going. Even if you had commenced your flight at a more sensible hour, however, with the light of the sun to aid you, it would be of little use. You do not know where you are going. You have no map, no route, no plan. You are running like a frightened animal, anxious and nervy, with no destination in mind. You have no desire, as you run, save to escape. You cannot let yourself be caught. If that were to happen, you are certain that you would be ruined. You have no choice, therefore, but to keep going. On and on and on. Excuse me. Though your feet are screaming at you for mercy. You have no idea how long you have been running. Time has begun to blend together. It has lost all meaning. Something sharp snags at the hem of your skirt, but you do not have the luxury to pause and examine what has happened. Instead, you tug. Your skirt tears, and the sound splitting through the forest, and you stumble forwards with a shocked gasp. You are free, but at what cost? Your skirt has been irrevocably damaged. It might be too late to worry about such trivial matters now, though. If you do not start running again, and soon, she will catch you. Then, your life will be over. You do not know if she is still following you, but you do not want to risk looking over your shoulder. If you were to see her, silhouetted beneath a tree, looking at you with that sickly sweet smile which once ensnared you, you would lose what little nerve you possess. Your legs would lock up, and your blood would freeze in your veins. Then, you would crumple. You would fall, but you would not hit the ground. She would be there to catch you. Did she not promise when you made that contract that you would never be alone? You would like to take back that silly wish of yours, but it is too late for that. It is too late for a lot of things. All you can do is run. Oh, you can go backwards. You run and run and run while icy fog swirls about your feet. It is cold enough to sap the heat from your body, and you shudder from it. It feels as though you are drowning. It feels as though you are being buried alive. Your knees and your shins, meanwhile, are bleeding. You cannot endure much more of this. But if you value your own life, you must. You run and you run and you run until at long last, you reach a fork in the road. There are 3 paths which split off through the forest. Let me save. Well, 4 if you count the path down which you came. You cannot exactly double back on yourself, though, not when you have put so much effort into running forwards. You can only press on. The 3 paths are signposted, which is something of a strange sight, given you are so deep in the forest. Dark though it may be, you have grown accustomed to the shadows. You can just about pick the writing on this old dilapidated signpost, curved and slanted though it is. Your fate, if you will forgive me for sounding cliché, is in your hands. Let me drink water. Very, very strong and descriptive opening. I really love it. Hold on. Let me just adjust a few things here to make things a bit more comfortable for myself. Now, I wonder, which path will you take? Go to the shore, the village, or the castle? Well, I want to go to the shore. Let's go to the shore. So, you want to go to the shore? Good idea. What will you discover there, I wonder? This night is far from over, and there are any number of adventures still awaiting you. I hope that you have prepared yourself in advance, and I do hope for your sake that you have learnt how to swim. I know I can swim, but does this person I'm playing as know how to swim? That is the question. Very 面白いですよね. I have a sneaking suspicion that this skill might come in handy. You follow the path which leads to the shore, supporting yourself on weary, aching limbs, which feel ready to snap at the knee beneath the burden of your weight. You are little more than a wisp of a girl, and you have been running for so very long, and your feet are so very numb. You feel like a great lumbering thing. You need to lie down, and quickly. You only hope as you continue to run that you will find a means to escape your current predicament by the shore. You do not know what awaits you, but you have visions of a harbor extending out to the horizon, cradling the fleet. Excuse me. Cradling a fleet of white-sailed fishing vessels. Surely there will be a kindly fisherman who will be willing to take you far, far away on his boat, to a place where your pursuer will not be able to find you. You can imagine, too, the face of this kindly fisherman, a face you have lifted from the fairy tales you read in abundance as a small child. He will have thick, bushy eyebrows and a dark brown beard streaked through with gray. He will look intimidating at glance, but he will be fiercely protective of you, just like a father. You do not know what fathers are supposed to look like. To be like, you are only imagining. It is your imagination, however, which grants you the strength needed to keep going. Yay, we're at the shore. Ooh, it's very pretty. You run to the shore. It takes some time before you finally emerge from the woods, but finally you do it. How much time, you ask? I cannot answer that. Did I not say that time had begun to lose all its meaning? The forest is behind you now, at least, and all awful nightmares that lurk within it. Let me just kind of move the game a little bit in the capture. Yeah, I think that works. It is still cold, though, and still foggy. It is still dark, too. The sun has yet to rise. Yay, the moon. Oh, yeah, I really love, like, the watercolor. You can see, like, the canvas texture of the art style. Very nice. You can see the moon more clearly now as it hangs over your head, round as any pearl or orb or crystal ball. This is interesting. Maybe it represents the three paths. Pearl being the shore, orb being the village, crystal ball, maybe that's the castle, or maybe it's the other way around. I wouldn't know. But I would think the crystal ball is corresponding to the castle. Something to know, also, it's the full moon. Much to consider. The moonlight shines down upon the vertiginous cliffs, which plummet sharply downwards to an array of sharp, spiky rocks below. Ooh, yay, vocal. You felt upon escaping the woods a degree of hope, but the sight of these weather-blasted cliffs gives you pause. You inhale. Then you frown. Now what are you to do? Hold on. Hold on. Where's the log? Am I stupid? Oh no. Never mind. Oh, I guess you can just go backwards. Okay, so that's what it was. Okay. I kind of felt like I was like losing my memory there. It was like, oh, the Sharpie spike rocks below. Okay, yeah. Give you hope, but the sight of these weather-blasted cliffs gives you pause. You inhaled, then you frown. Now what are you to do? You did not think this plan of yours through very well. Not that you had much in the way of a plan in the first place. There is little in the way of civilization here. The cliffs are far from the village. How far? You do not know, and you cannot see any houses. The music is so pretty. This game is so pretty. Oh wow, I love the aesthetics. Where exactly will you rest your weary head, and what of your weary legs? Fitfully, you look around. There is nobody to your east, nor is there anybody to your west. There is no point in looking south, as it is the way of came, and when you look to the north, the world falls away from you. The cliffs are too steep to scale, and it is too dark. Naturally, there is not a soul here to help you. You are on your own. You feel so overwhelmed you could very well cry. You do not cry, however. You know that tears have never helped anyone. You got yourself into this mess. Now, you need to get yourself out of it. It is with this thought in mind, that you inhale a lungful of salty oceanic air. Then you begin your exploration in earnest. You keep away from the edge of the cliffs, afraid that you might slip and take a sudden unfortunate tumble into the abyss below. You are not as attached to your mortal body as some humans are. Interesting tidbit there, but you do not want to die. You still care for yourself, if only a little. And it is this sense of self-preservation which compels you onwards. You glance this way and that, depressing the tall grass beneath your shoes, as you search for a place of shelter. Surely there must be somewhere. You cannot see any likely-looking settlements, but what is that over yonder? Could that be a roof? You hurry onward, hope budding anew in your heart until, at long last, you reach your destination. There is a house, after all, out here in the wilds, though it doesn't, at glance, look very welcoming. The solitary house you have discovered, not so far from the cliffs, is rather unremarkable. It is so small and squat, you cannot imagine it contains within it more than one floor. You cannot even imagine it contains much more than one room. Though it is dark, it is not dark enough to mask that the cottage has something of a slant to it. It is leaning listlessly to one side like a drunken sailor. The thatched roof, meanwhile, which tops this dwelling, has certainly seen better days. There is a hole in the thatch. There are several holes, in fact, and parts of it look particularly bare, almost bald. That is rather concerning. Should it rain, you will not be properly protected from the elements. Can you really stay the night in such a place? You have some misgivings. But do your misgivings matter really when there is nowhere else to go? It is not as though you have any other options. It is with a sense of defeat, therefore, that you approach the cottage, which sticks out of the earth like a tombstone. Tombstone, interesting. Part of you wants to turn back, but you know it would be foolish. The windows of the cottage are dark, but that does not necessarily mean it is empty. It is rather late at night, after all. Whoever lives here, if indeed anybody does live here, might be asleep. Let me drink. God, the music is so good. I really love it. I cannot imagine the owners of this cottage will appreciate being roused so very late at night. You cannot let yourself worry too much about these small details, however. Otherwise, you will never get anywhere. You swallow. The taste of the salty sea breeze is pungent in the back of your nostrils. Then you rap the knuckles of your right fist on the door. You rap quietly at first, but you do not hear any resultant shuffling inside the cottage. Perhaps you did not use enough strength. Emboldened, you rap your knuckles on the door a second time, more loudly this time. You wait a few moments, but still you cannot hear anything. Perhaps the cottage is unoccupied after all. You knock for a third time, then wait. The third time is, as they say, the charm. But for all that, your knocking goes unanswered. Well, nobody can say you did not try. More intrigued now than anxious, your fingers find the handle of the door. You pull it down, and to your surprise, it yields easily. The door swings back for you, as if by magic. It feels almost as if this was preordained. Hello? Okay. You step foot inside the cottage, which is very dark, and glance around. It is hard to see given the lateness of the hour, but the cottage's interior is about as inspiring as its exterior, which is to say, not very. It is every bit as small and as cramped as you fancied when you observed it from the outside. There are a few cupboards which line the walls, a wood fire which has since been extinguished, and a straw pallet on the floor which must function as a bed. Your search is unsuccessful, however, when it comes to trying to locate other humans. You cannot find another soul. Surely that is to your benefit, though. If nobody else lives here, then you might as well make yourself at home. Or as at home as one can be, I suppose, in a small cramped cottage such as this with holes in the roof. You close the door behind you, then approach the straw pallet. All of a sudden you feel incredibly weary. The tiredness that assails your limbs is so absolute, so intense, it overcomes the last of your concerns. You settle down upon the straw pallet, yawning as you do. It is not comfortable, but being able to lie down eases some of your aches and pains. Lying down, even on an uncomfortable makeshift bed such as this one, is better than standing. It is far, far better than running. Your eyelids fall shut, your lashes melting together. Let me save. And soothed by the sounds of the wind and the distant rolling of the waves, you fall asleep. Then you begin to dream. It is not uncommon, of course, to dream. The best and the worst of us to it. From queens in their castles to peasants sleeping in the straw. Interesting dichotomy there. Why? Who is to say that all you have observed tonight has not, in a sense, been a dream of its own? Would that make your nighttime fancies, then, a dream inside a dream? Perhaps our dreams are empty, hollow things stacked inside another, like little wooden dolls. Is that not a whimsical thought? How very droll! Oh, hello, hi Tofu, welcome in, welcome to the stream. Yes, reading through this VN right now. We've only just started. There were 3 paths, to the shore, to the village, and to the castle, and I chose to go to the shore. Our protagonist has found a little cottage to settle into for the night, running away from her pursuer. Hopefully she is safe, but I think some things are bound to happen. Your dreams, however, cannot be called whimsical, and neither are they particularly droll. They are not pure fabrications, as dreams sometimes are, fleeting fancies which can never come to pass. Your dreams are of a rather more pernicious sort. What does that word mean? Let's look it up. Pernicious. Definition. Having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. So it's like corrosive. That's cool. In your dreams, you're at the conservatoire with your red hair tied back into 2 prim, proper braids. You are walking through the courtyard, clutching your books to your chest as you make your way to the library. Your head is bowed so as to not look at the faces of your passing classmates. You do not want to meet their eyes. These girls with their sensible braids and sensible shoes are merciless. You hunch your shoulders together in this dream of yours so as to not draw their attention, but alas, it is not enough. You stumble, clumsy thing that you are, and you fall, and just like that, all eyes are upon you. They are staring at you. They are laughing at you. You lay there on the ground by the fountain, your books scattered and your skirt in a woeful state of disarray. Your knee hurts. Is it bleeding? You examine your injured leg, trying not to cry, and as this transpires, you hear a voice. One of your classmates is calling out to you. Excuse me. She has acknowledged you. You look up shyly, tears beating in your eyes, at a girl taller than you, and prettier, and much more refined. She extends her hand towards you. Does she mean to help you? It cannot hurt to try, can it? Maybe it does hurt. Hesitantly, you reach out to accept her offered aid. Her fingers curl around yours tightly. Perhaps too tightly. Her nails dig into your skin. It hurts. Deftly, the girl pulls you to your feet. Your legs feel weak from your fall, and your knee is still aching, still bleeding. The focus on the hurting legs after protagonist was running for a long time. You stumble, feeling out of sorts, but you are not afforded much of an opportunity to gather your bearings. The girl's hands are on your shoulders. She is laughing at you. Then she is pushing you. The sound of the fountain and the running water which drums against its basin is all of a sudden very loud. Oh, it is overwhelming. It surrounds you. Then it engulfs you. It is cold as ice. You cannot breathe. The rushing of the water continues, echoing in your eardrums, over and over, and then... No, you do not want to remember this. What good will it do? It is in the past, where the past ought to remain. You are never going to go back, not even in your dreams. It is this determination which forces you back into the world of the waking with a start. You gasp like a fish as you sit upright, your eyes unnaturally wide. You feel wearied from a lack of sleep, and with half-lidded eyes you glance about. It is still dark inside your cottage. The sky from beyond the windows the sky visible from beyond the windows splashed still with stars. How long were you asleep? You are not sure. Your dream was so very detailed, it really did feel like you had been transported into a different time, into a different place. When you inhale, you can taste rank, fetid water in your mouth. Tentatively, you pat yourself down, your fingers trailing against the front of your uniform. So vivid was your dream, you half expect to find that your clothes are damp. This is not the case, however. You are, in fact, perfectly dry. Well, now what are you to do? Will you go back to sleep? That sounds like the best option available to you. You are very tired, but your senses feel too overwrought all of a sudden for sleep. You do not think you could bear it. On unsteady legs, you rise to your feet, then stand by the window. You look out to the starry sky and to the pitted moon which hangs amongst them, and you frown. You can hear the wind outdoors, howling like an injured animal, and more softly, the ebb and flow of the waves as they meet the cliffs. But that is not all. What is that sound? Why, it is almost like singing. Hold on. Let me drink. Okay. Okay. Feeling very refreshed. Okay. Yeah, let me save. Why, it is almost like singing. The voice is far away enough that you cannot pick out any individual words, nor even the individual syllables, but there is a haunting quality to it all. There we go. The OST matches. Excuse me. The singer, whoever they are, possesses quite the pretty voice, high and clear like a bell. The song is a melancholy one, which stirs your heart. Did I mention the music in this game is really good? The music in this game is really good. Curiosity takes root inside you, as it did during that fateful day you found that book in the library. Logically, you know you should not go outdoors to seek the source of the singer, but emotionally, that is another matter altogether. It's like a siren call. You really should have learnt your lesson by now. You should know better than to go sticking your nose into business which does not concern you. But naughty little girls such as yourself never do learn. Interesting. You cross the old fisherman's cottage as though in a dream, then reach for the handle of the door. The handle depresses easily enough beneath your grasping fingers, and the door opens with a click. The rest of the world yawns before you, framed in the doorway, all of it bathed in moonlight. Excuse me. You thought it was cold inside the old cottage, but it is colder still now that the door is open. An unpleasant wind rushes forth to meet you, knifing mercilessly through the fabric of your uniform. You look across the cold, inhospitable landscape, your fingers clenched into fists at your sides. Then you step out into the unknown. You canvass the cliff face, but nothing more than that luxurious singing. So haunting and ethereal is this voice, as it hangs on the breeze, it would be enough to send 1,000 ships off to war. You keep walking into the night until you reach the very edge of the cliffs, where they drop downward into empty air. You ought not to go any further, but the voice has yet to cease. You can still hear it echoing inside your head. It compels you to act. You look down at the shore, which seems like a dizzying distance away, then out to the ocean, which is breaking against the scattered rocks below. Your eyes narrow with determination. Then you take a step towards the cliff. These cliffs are steep, and the rocks below them are sharp. You can see them glinting in the darkness, their tips jagged like the teeth of hungry predators. The cold wind blows, rocking your hair, and you shudder from it. Your shoes were not built for scaling cliffs, and your heels do not have much in the way of purchase, particularly not when the cliffs are so steep. Clinging to the cliffs is no small feat, and yet you are determined to ease yourself down onto the shore, in one piece preferably. The wind is so powerful it feels as though there is something deliberately malicious to it. You wonder during your descent if it means to knock you off your perch on purpose, to cast you down to the rocks below. Well, if that is what it wants, then you refuse to give it the satisfaction. You can be awfully stubborn at times, and now is one of them. You continue to climb. How long have you been at it now? Until, at long last, your feet meet the shoreline below. You have made it, and you did not sustain too many injuries. Your palms are throbbing, yes, but after gripping those rocks, and you might have a few cuts, but your wounds are of a shallow and superficial sort. Things could have been worse. You flex your fingers. They feel uncomfortably numb and cold alongside it. Your skin is prickling, but at least you can still feel discomfort. At least it is still attached to your bones where it ought to be, your vital organs concealed within the hollow cavity of your body. You have a lot to be thankful for. This night has, by and large, been quite successful. Oh, let me examine this artwork. Ooh, very nice. There are no longer any obstacles between you and the mysterious voice which lulled you outdoors. Now you must find them. You set off down to the shore, on the hunt of the singing voice which has captivated you so. You sidestep sharp, jagged rocks, which jut out of the sand like teeth. The rocks which cannot be circumnavigated, meanwhile, you clamber over. All the while, the sound of the sea mingles with that of the singing. This atmosphere is just so exquisite. It provides an ethereal, haunting backdrop to your exploration, one which further adds the surreality of your moonlight stroll. The waves lap against the shore, then recede shyly, pushed and pulled by the bleached white moon which hangs overhead. The oceans which you have seen in your library books were all blue as sapphires, but this ocean is different. It is so late at night, it looks black instead. The undulating surface of the water reminds you of a mirror, though. Its depths are even deeper and much more mysterious. A sense of foreboding settles upon you, but you try to squash it. You will not let yourself be afraid. Oh. Wow. Yeah, so we did get lulled by a siren, huh? Wow. Pretty. Let me drink. Hold on. Just for a moment, I have like a text to make. I just remembered. Hold on. Sorry for the mic troubles. Walmart. Trying to think. What do I need? What do I need to text? Okay, I think that's all I can think of for now. Okay. Alright, let's continue. You round a corner, your feet unsteady in their sensible brown shoes, and then at long last, you see her. There is a woman sitting upon a rock, out in the ocean. The woman's eyes are closed and her lips are parted, her expression soulful. She is singing. Her hair, which is fair, flutters around her face like a shroud, which adds to her otherworldly aura. Excuse me. Her eyes might be closed, but her lashes are long and luxuriant like a doll's. Her lips, meanwhile, which are parted in song, are soft like the freshly plucked petals of a flower. Her face is perfect, as are her proportions. Her neck is tall and slender like the stem of a flower. As for the lower half of her body, meanwhile, well, fish. It is nothing like anything you have seen before. It is here and here alone that the woman betrays your narrow human definitions of beauty, for her likes are non-existent. Rather than two awkward appendages, this woman has instead the sleek, shimmering tail of a fish. Is she not, then, a human? She cannot be, not with a tail like that. This unusual sight makes you gasp, and quite audibly at that. You do not mean to be rude, but you cannot help yourself. Humans tend to react poorly to things they do not understand. At least you do not scream. That would be even ruder. Oh my. You meant to observe the mermaid from a distance, but it would appear that your shocked gasp was loud enough to attract her attention. The fish-tailed vision sitting upon the rock is looking at you. Her gaze is so piercing, it feels as though she is looking through you. Your heart seems to stop from inside your chest, as if by some manner of magical spell. You thought the mermaid pretty when you first observed her. Sitting on that outcrop of rock, her face turned in profile. Now she is looking at you, however. You can see that you were mistaken. She is not just pretty. She is beautiful. So much so, it is almost unnerving. She looks as though she has stepped out of the pages of a picture book. She is simply too perfect to belong to this world. Perhaps she is some kind of vision, a waking dream, a hallucination. But no, she is none of those things. Her tail might be an impossible thing, but its scales look slick and wet regardless, like those of any fishes one might find at the market. These scales are iridescent, and bathed beneath the light of the moon, they almost seem to glow. The sight of her rather takes your breath away. You look at the mermaid. She looks back at you. You prepare yourself, expecting some sort of altercation. But the surprise soon fades from the mermaid's face. Her lips, which were once pursed in a frown, now shift upwards. She is smiling. Then she says in a refined sort of voice, My, it really is good to see a human again. Particularly a human girl. I was beginning to fear that your kind had all disappeared, and I would no longer have anybody left to tell me of the world above the waters. My, this is quite the effusive greeting. The mermaid's introductory speech is positively brimming with excitement of a sweet, girlish variety. She is rather more amicable than the fine polish of her syllables would make one suggest. You might be a well-bred lady yourself with an accent to match, but you cannot help but feel overwhelmed. Anxiously, you observe the mermaid, and you ask her what she means. What happened? As to that, I am afraid I cannot say. I have been sitting on these rocks and singing for many, many nights, but no one has come to see me. There have been no lovely humans for me to play with. I was beginning to wonder whether your kind had disappeared altogether. I feared some manner of calamity had occurred while I was slumbering beneath the water surface, and your kind had been eradicated. You shudder, then reassure the mermaid to the contrary. You do not know about the humans she used to speak with, but you, at least, have not been eradicated. You are still here. Yes, well, I can see that, the mermaid answers with a light laugh. It really is a relief. My fellow merpeople who live beneath the water told me not to worry so, but I could not help myself. I have always been fond of you humans. It was rather sobering sitting here night after night, all on my own. It gets so lonely here. Oh, she said the thing. She said the thing. Are they all gonna say the thing in the different roots like that? I'm wondering if I should continue saying each and every single line, because I don't know. I'm getting a little exhausted easily. I think we can kind of skim through if that's okay with you guys. I think maybe let's just say the dialogue lines. Da 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 da. Have you heard it before? Interesting. Yeah, I think I'll provide more of commentary-based thoughts than text-based thoughts. And I'll also voice the dialogue. So, dear human, did you say you are unfamiliar with these parts? Note of longing in the mermaid's voice, huh? Particular answer, huh? Hold on. This answer, alas, is not one you can furnish her with. You do not want to lie to her. Hold on, let me look back. Oh yeah, unfamiliar. You affirm your earlier words, though this time you embellish them. You tell the mermaid, you are a traveler from a far-off land, one which is very dissimilar to this one. It is not a complete fabrication. You have only just arrived. If there is a village nearby, you have never set foot in it. Do not know anything. You are still alive. Are you not, you wonder, enough to satiate her curiosity with the human realm? Yes, that is true. You are here. I am grateful naturally for your company, although... I was rather hoping you might be able to bring me some news of the nearby village and of its inhabitants. Particular person. So you were able to work that much out, the mermaid answers with a small smile. You are an intelligent one, aren't you? Beg to differ on. You could never get your head around all the numbers. Just you and the mermaid, and she does not need to know about your dismal academic record. Tell her it was nothing more than a lucky guess. For a guess, it was remarkably accurate. You're quite right. I did have a close friend from the nearby village. She was very dear to me. How very clever you are. There are many humans in this world, of that I know. The human who spoke with me, however, was special. She was my human. The possessive note, And I cherished her dearly. She would come to me on my rock late at night when she was finished with her chores and we would talk. I asked her a good number of questions about the human realm and asked about her customs. I fear my endless inquiries must have been rather tedious, but she was always happy to indulge me. She never once scorned me for my ignorance, and neither did she make me feel like a fool. She always made time for me, no matter how many demands she had on her time. She was a farmer's daughter, and she was awfully busy from dawn until dusk, threshing hay and taking animals out to pasture. She told me of her work, and I marveled at her. Slender though she was, she possessed a truly tremendous amount of strength. I, who have lived in the ocean all of my life, cannot countenance working as hard as she did, but she bore her burdens without complaining. She was not the prettiest human who has walked the earth, but that mattered not to me. Her conversation was engaging, and I knew through our continued encounters that she meant no ill will. She did not have even a single drop of malice in her heart. A flicker of some ugly primordial emotion. Jealousy? Is it painful? It is painful, isn't it, to hear others wax poetic about those they hold dear, particularly when you yourself have never been regarded in so intimate a manner. Oh, yeah, that hits. Woefully alone. Alone. But you are not alone now. You are with the mermaid. And she is with you. Where did she go? Oh, if only I knew. She quite simply disappeared one day, almost as if she was whisked away by a wicked spirit. And, Oh, did the farmhand not tell her companion beforehand that she might one day disappear? No, she did not. Nothing of the sort happened. It was all very sudden. So you asked, feeling affronted upon the mermaid's behalf. Did she not give you any warning? Not a single one. And when you ask, did she disappear? I do not know in truth. Time is a strange concept to beings such as myself, particularly as it seems to ebb and flow differently both above and below the surface. You humans have a strange compulsion to pin down and place labels upon everything. You have names for your seasons and for your months and even for days of the week. It is all very precise. We merfolk, however, do not bother with such affairs. Perhaps we live for so much longer than you humans do. We have no need to obsessively document our days, not when we have so many of them at our disposal. Interesting. Let me drink. How long exactly do mermaids live for? Huh. My, nosy are we? Nosy, aren't we? The mermaid asks, and she laughs, a soft tinkling sound like that of a bell which makes you blush. Were you being nosy? Perhaps you were. You've always had a thirst for knowledge. Of stories peopled with strange persons. Huh. Again, it is hard for me to quantify. But to put it in terms a human like you can understand, I suppose we mermaids can live for centuries. Centuries? That is quite a surprise. Perhaps it shouldn't be. You have been subjected to any number of surprises tonight. What is one more to add to the pile? I have not been waiting that long, however, for my friend to return to me. I think it has been but a few seasons. It might not sound like much, but never before have I been so aware of the passage of time. Ooh, yeah, that's very interesting. I have experienced any number of wants during my life, but I have never wanted anything quite as badly as I want to see her. I wish she would sit with me, and she would talk to me just one more time. But perhaps I am asking for an impossibility. I have been waiting for long enough now to presume that she will not be returning to me. I fear that something must have happened to her, or to her family, or perhaps to her whole village. You can hear the worry throbbing in the mermaid's voice, so potent that for a few moments you swear you can feel the depths of her sorrow within your heart. Her sadness over this human girl is this deep, dark thing, almost fathomless. You cannot let yourself indulge in it for too long. Otherwise, you fear you might drown in it. Huh. Ruefully, you tell the mermaid once more that you cannot help her. You are only a traveler after all. What do you know, a single, insignificant farmhand in a nearby village? Yes, I thought you might say that. It is quite unfortunate, but oh well. I ought not to reflect upon all that I am missing. That would be churlish of me, and it would not be fair to you either. You did not approach me, I am sure, with the hope of hearing about all my woes. I should be grateful instead, for all it is I do have. I still have my long, long life, which stretches before me like a golden cord. And of course, I have you now. Does she? Do I not? I ought to go soon before my absence is noticed, but will you not come and visit me again tomorrow night? I think I would quite like that. I have always enjoyed speaking to humans. You make me feel less alone. You cannot help but feel, as the mermaid observes you with those enchanting eyes of hers, that she does not truly wish to speak to you for your sake. She wants to use you instead, as a substitute for the farmhand that she has been missing so very ardently. Huh. The thought stings, though. You really ought to be used to it. Still, to be held in lower esteem than a farmhand of all things, it makes your self-esteem sick. Excuse me. Huh. The woes of your past are not her fault, much as the woes of her past are not yours. Jealous of a girl who might be dead. You tell the mermaid after a pause, like to see her again. You would like that very much. Oh, thank you. I have been feeling very gloomy for quite some time, but seeing you has invigorated me. Finally, it feels as though I can smile again. Did she not smile, you wonder, after her friend disappeared? I did not know. I did not have the heart. Without her, the world seemed very dull and drab. Your company has cheered me immensely. This is why I like humans so much. You are not callous and unfeeling like the merfolk who live beneath the water's surface. You are much kinder than they are. Oh, if only she knew. Huh. If the mermaid was aware, I wonder, of how petty you are and how jealous, would she still care for you? Well, that is neither here nor there. Back home, back home. Huh. I see fear, so no more fear. Complacent, no? Oh well, you will. The following morning, when it arrives, is cloudy and overcast. You rise from your straw pallet. Ooh, new OST. Broken pottery, single wooden chair. Hold on, let me look at this. Oh yeah, that's very dilapidated. Oh, there's something. Is there like a basement or something? Hunger. Thinking of the night prior. You cannot help but think of the mermaid. Did you truly meet an aquatic maiden last night during your nightly stroll which you could not sleep? Must have been a dream. Why can you recall it so clearly? Now what are you to do? You plan, of course, to return to the shore come nightfall, so that you might once again see the mermaid, but night will not arrive for quite some time. You need to find some means of keeping yourself occupied until then. The uninspiring interior of the cottage does not furnish you. You leave the cottage behind you and you set off. Don't know where we're going. Steep and sharp cliffs. You are rather more determined than you ever realized. Though I, of course, could have told you that much. You are surprisingly capricious for a small, slender human. Your fortunes have never been the fairest. Ooh, let's look at this. Ooh, that looks nice. There are flowers here, very warm and bright, like the sun's light during the summertime. Or you think with a flush of pleasure, the fair hair of the maiden, or of the mermaid, whom you are certain you spoke to last night. These flowers are so very like her hair, it is uncanny. You have just had an idea. Why not make a gift for your new friend? You are sure that she would appreciate it. Why would she not? She told you in a voice which is steeped with dolor. How do you pronounce that? Dolor? Dolor. Okay, yeah. A great state of great sorrow and distress. That she had been feeling lonely. You want to see her again. And when you next see her, you would like to make her smile. It's with this thought in mind that you begin to pick the flowers which are growing upon the cliffside. These flowers do not have any thorns, and their delicate stems snap easily enough between your fingers. You take care when plucking these flowers to leave a substantial amount of stem intact. You will need these stems so that you might twine the flowers together. You mean to make for your mermaid a diadem, something she will be able to wear in her hair. This tiara is certain to suit her. She is so pretty, anything would suit her. You continue to work slow and steadfast as the weak sun shines. It takes time, but you are eventually able to fashion something you are satisfied with. Time for foraging for food. Okay, good fruit trees. If you're less focused on the future and dwelt more on the immediate present, you might have more of an appetite. You do busy yourself with trying to light a fire so that you might ward off the cold. Time is horribly slow in passing. In part, you have precious little to do, but also because you cannot stop thinking of the mermaid. Will she really return to the shores as she said she would? Can you truly trust her? Oh, you hope that you can. If she were not present at your designated meeting place, you would think you would die from disappointment. The seconds continue to trickle by unchecked by any hourglass, and as they do, the sun sinks beneath the horizon. Part of you worries, however, that it might still be too early to search for the mermaid. Will she be there yet? You sit there, your stomach tied up in anxious knots, and as you listen to the wind which buffets your windows, you hear it. The sound is faint, but you recall it well from the night before. There is a single solitary voice outdoors, tempest-tossed amidst the rolling waves. The voice is a high, clear one, silvery, if indeed voices can have colors, like a finely polished dinner plate. She did not abandon you. She wanted to see you. All right, let's go out. You have only known her for one night, yet she has come to mean more to you than your own well-being. You would do anything for the mermaid if she asked it. Well, almost anything. Alright, scrambling down, nearly fall. There we are. When she sees you from across the shore, she ceases her singing, and her eyes light up. Or at least they seem to. So, you have returned to see me. My hero, the mermaid says, and then lightly she giggles, or perhaps I should say heroine. Her praise makes you blush. You do not feel worthy of it. Nobody has ever called you a heroine before. Heroine. Heroine? How's the correct pronunciation? You do not even think of yourself as a heroine. If a story were made about you, you rather think you would be a supporting character, one without her own voice. Well, that's a bit funny, isn't it? You are not interesting enough. I think you are interesting. Well, evidently, you are the protagonist, so like, The mermaid seems to think that you are, though. She is staring at you delightedly, as though you are the one person in the world she wishes most to speak to. The thought makes you tremble, but not as much as the mermaid's gaze. You tell the mermaid that you don't think you are so very brave, but she dismisses your awkward remark with a laugh. I think you are. I saw the way you scaled the cliffs. I thought that was very heroic. Oh, so she saw that, did she? Then did you see how you slipped down the cliffs, grazing your palms in the process, and how you very nearly fell? You have never been the most graceful of girls, but to have your fallings exposed... Excuse me. To have your fallings exposed before being as poised and perfect as the mermaid, it stings a little bit. More, in fact, than the resultant gaze on your palms which your clumsiness brought you. You told the mermaid that there was nothing so very heroic about all of that. You were simply excited, that is all, to see her again. You weren't thinking. Well, that makes two of us. I was excited to see you again. She was. Naturally. I had a very good time speaking to you last night. I had hoped we might resume our correspondence. That is why I came to the rocks a bit earlier than usual. I was waiting for you. Let me save. Mermaid time. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna take a small little stretch break, if you don't mind. Yep. Okay, hello. I'm back. I refilled my water. And you know when I said a few weeks ago, I think it was at this point, I got a bit sick, so I didn't manage to make a schedule for that week. I feel like after that, my appetite has kind of changed, and I feel like I get No, I need to continue drinking more water. Because, yeah, I think a lot of my issues lately is that I get dehydrated a bit often. So, I really need to drink more water. And it's kind of good that, like, talking a lot makes me want to drink more water. Yes. Okay, let's continue. Did you hear my song? Yes, you reply with a nod of your head. You heard it all the way in the abandoned cottage. It called out to you. That was the general idea. I was singing for you. She was? You do not think that you are worthy of the mermaid's song, but if she does not mind dedicating her voice to you, then... Well, who else would I dedicate my voice to? There is nobody else to hear me. That is a good point, you suppose. Shyly, you look back at the mermaid. You thank her for her song. It was very beautiful. And tell her that before you can lose your nerve that you have prepared a present for her too. Oh, have you really? You have. It is a small thing, nothing more than a silly trinket, but if it would not be too much of an imposition, then... With clumsy fingers, you reach into your pocket. For a few minutes, you fret that your near fall down the cliff might have damaged the delicate chain nestled within it, but your worries are in vain. The chain is surprisingly sturdy, given it was made with only a few flowers, and has held firm against the odds. Well, let's look at this image more properly. Oh yeah. Oh, nice, yeah. You handle the chain with great care all the same, however, as you hold it out, presenting it for the mermaid's approbation. It was for the mermaid that you fashioned this chain. You thought it would look nice nestled in her hair. You were pleased with the chain when you first made it, but after looking at the mermaid, you have begun to reconsider. The mermaid's beauty is otherworldly, so much so it almost hurts to look at her. Your flower crown, by comparison, seems a very meager offering indeed. The longer you hold your gift out, the more unworthy it feels. You have half a mind, as the seconds elapse, to snatch your silly, unholy, unworthy gift back from the mermaid before she can judge you too harshly. But the mermaid's lips curve upwards in a smile, in a voice so full of gratitude it makes your heart throb. She says, "Oh my, did you make this for me?" "Well, yes," you reply, still feeling a little flustered. You saw these flowers earlier when you went for a walk, and they made you think of her. Not, you hasten to add, that you think your beauty is comparable to these flowers. They are far inferior and contrasted with her good looks. You simply thought. You are unable to get the rest of the sentence out, however, because the mermaid interrupts you, not rudely, but something resembling compassion. Perhaps she pities you. She must be able to hear from how your voice is trembling. Can she also see the way your hands tremor? Oh dear. Faint heart never won the hands of a fair maiden, you know. What happened to all of your confidence? I think that your gift is a wonderful one. I did not at all expect it, but it is really pretty. You look at your feet, too shy to meet the mermaid's gaze. Then you say very quietly that you are glad she thinks so, but she does not need to spare your ego. You have precious little of it left as it is. The mermaid seems touched by your shyness. Perhaps she likes her prey to be self-conscious, because she smiles. I am not simply saying things to spare your ego. I am not like that. Humans might shout platitudes as easily as they breathe air, but I do not compliment others unless I truly mean it. Is that not the point of speech? To have an honest dialogue with one another. If one party in a conversation is withholding their true intentions, then conversation is impossible. Playing games is a waste of my time, particularly given my time above the surface is so very limited. Oh, you blush at this more deeply still, and survey the mermaid beneath the full fringe of your eyelashes. Then she really does like it. Did I not just say that? You humans are so very funny. What with all of your second guessing? She was like that too in the beginning. She? My friend. The mermaid's answer is a simple one, but it makes your stomach clench regardless. Ooh, the jealousy. Yes. Her friend. How could you have forgotten about her? She used to make me gifts too, you know? Gifts like this one. She would pick flowers on the cliffs over there where I cannot tread. And she would fashion them into crowns like this one, and bracelets. I was appreciative of her tokens, though she was similarly shy when she first presented them to me. She did not seem to think very much of her handiwork. You and her are remarkably similar, really. Ooh. Oh, this surely is something. There is no guile in the mermaid's voice, but her words have rather taken the wind out of your sails. Of course, the cowherd gave the mermaid gifts. Why would she not? The mermaid is beautiful. She is so very beautiful, like a tutelary goddess. She seems to invite tribute simply by existing. Were you more religious, or more irreligious, maybe? You might even consider worshipping her. Though in essence, is that not what you were doing with your flower crown? How silly of you to think that your idea was an original one. I might be accustomed to gifts, but it's been a long time since any human has bequeathed me with anything. This is a pleasant surprise. I am truly thankful for your kindness, dear one. The mermaid leans forward on her rock so as to pluck the circlet from her fingers. Yeah, I don't think we're finishing this today, given that I have to read it out loud. And now that I look at your gift more closely, I rather think it is of a superior quality to the gifts my old friend once gave me. Now this is enough to make you start, if the touch of a mermaid's fingers upon your own was not. Wow. Could it really be better? I think so. My friend's trinkets were all rather clumsy in execution, though I cherished them nonetheless. They were very precious to me. They did not last for very long, though. Not when I took them with me to my home beneath the ocean. The water soon rent the fragile links between the flower stems asunder. Your diadem, however, seems more sturdy, but it is by the same token very delicate. You must be very good with your hands. Omoshiroi. You think back briefly on your disastrous sewing lessons of the past. You think the mermaid's praise might be a touch too effusive. You tell the mermaid as much, but she only laughs. I do not think so. Now. Yay! Aw, look at that. That's cute. Very sweet. I love that the art is quite vibrant, or like it's quite beautiful, and like the colors are really yeah, you can really feel the colors, but at the same time it's like dark also, because, well, I guess it's the lighting of the day here, also I guess just general atmosphere of the game as well, or the VN. What do you think? You think that the mermaid looks rather radiant, though that is less because of your gift and more because of her natural looks. You told the mermaid this, though not quite in terms quite this glowing, and she giggles. You are selling yourself too short. I think your gift is lovely, really. The flowers rather match my hair. Yes, you answer, with a nod of your head. That is why you picked those flowers. She is all you have been able to think of. I am glad you have been thinking of me. In truth, I have been thinking of you, though I did not wish to say as much. No? No. It would have been embarrassing to confess how much I have been looking forward to our reunion if you did not feel similarly. I do not care to pine for humans from afar. But if you care for me as I do you, then it makes me feel less alone. Keyword alone. Interesting. You hasten to assure the mermaid, your face aflame. Do you ever stop blushing, goodness gracious? That you do care for her. Very much so. You have not known her for very long, but she has certainly made an impression upon you. She is such an easy conversationalist. The time simply slips by when you are together. And it does not hurt, of course. That she is so pretty. I have heard it, yes, that my looks are rather appealing. My old friend was similarly complimentary. I cannot blame you humans for being so taken with me when my form is so very graceful. Her legs seem rather cumbersome in comparison to my smooth, sleek tail. It must be so very depressing to lumber about on land as you do, living your days beneath the harsh sun and the cold, unfeeling moon. Sometimes, I rather think I pity you. But the surface is a good deal brighter than it is beneath the ocean, I will grant you that much. You agree with the mermaid. But there are some perks to having legs. I am certain that there are, that you cannot explore the ocean's depths as I can. I presume you have never tried it. You shake your head, no. You are never taught to do so, largely because you have never been so close to the sea before. Not in all of your life. You are not allowed to go there. It was quite a lonely existence. Oh. Well now, that is a pity. You were kind enough to give me a gift fashioned from flowers which grow where I cannot reach them. So perhaps I ought to return the favor. The favor? Yes, that is right. Yes, that is right. It would seem only fitting that I give you something which can only be found in the ocean's depths. Perhaps we could look at it as a form of cultural exchange. Oh no, you protest, your eyes wide. You couldn't possibly put such a burden upon her. You did not give her a gift, after all, because you wanted to receive anything in return. Anything other than her friendship, that is. Her conversation is more than enough to satisfy you. You do not need any physical presence on top of that. The mermaid does not seem convinced, however, by your naysaying. She raises one eyebrow. Even this gesture is performed elegantly, then says, "If my company is all it takes to satisfy you, then you are easy to please indeed. Please do not rebuff me. I am offering because I wish to do this. Remember what I said. I do not say things for the sake of it." "Well," you must murmur, "if she really doesn't mind." "Of course I do not mind. Now wait there. I will not be very long. It would be rude to abandon my new friend in the midst of a conversation." The mermaid turns her attention towards the clear mirror like, Yeah, the prose is very, very pretty. I remember quite enjoying the prose in the sequel game too when I played it. The mermaid is gone, but you are still there. What are you gonna do? Just to wait. Waiting, huh? Waiting is a huge theme within the sequel game too. So there's a lot of stuff that's definitely intentional that you need to pay attention and look out for. Time lapses, but how much of it? When will the mermaid return? Will she ever return? You are starting to worry. Is that all you do? When? Ooh. The water is rippling. She's returned. Oh, and she still has the crown. I apologize for the wait. I hope I did not make you worry. And we were just worrying just a moment before. That's kind of funny. You were worrying, but you are not half so honest as the mermaid. Mermaids might be spoken of as devious tricksters who lure but they are in actuality very sincere. They are much more sincere than most humans. Perhaps that is why your kind fears them so. You are not worrying, and she answers with a wry smile. I am not so sure about that. The mermaid is wilier than you are giving her credit for. She has seen straight through you. But no matter. It took me some time, but I was finally able to retrieve for you a gift. You know, I forgot to do something. I just realized there was something in the, hold on. Sorry, the game audio might have jumped a little there, but I needed to do something to it. Okay, I think we're all good now. I was finally able to retrieve for you a gift. I do not have the means to turn this in a pretty piece of jewelry as you did with the flowers, but I wish to give it to you nonetheless. I do hope that you like it. The mermaid leans forward, then holds Oh, what a pretty gift it is. Seashell. She has fished from the depths of the water a beautiful shell, one which shimmers prismatic colors beneath the moon's light, much like the scales on her tail. The shell is so very pretty, it quite takes your breath away. You look at the shell worriedly, your teeth biting your lower lip, and ask the mermaid if this is really all right. Of course not. I want you to have this shell because it makes me think of you. It does? How so? I thought it should be obvious. The shell is a lovely find. As are you. Oh, did she just call you lovely? Surely you must have misheard her. You can scarcely believe it, but... Now, why are you gulping at me like that? The wind will change, you know, and then your face will be stuck like that, which would be quite the shame. Let me drink. You would waste your good looks, which for a maiden such as yourself would be nothing short of a tragedy. It seems as though thinks you are pretty after all. There's something almost laughable about the mermaid's compliments. How could she call you pretty when her looks are so immediately obviously superior? Tongue-tied, you look at your feet. Huh. There was nothing for it then but to take the shell which the mermaid retrieved from the ocean's depths for you. You do not think you are worthy of it, but neither do you want to refuse it. Now that is a surprise, the mermaid says, amused, as you reach for the shell. I did not think you would be bold enough to take it, not without more coaxing on my part. You have exceeded my expectations. What a good girl you are. Oh, interesting. Something about digging into your skin. It hurts, but there is pleasure in the pain. This too feels like a gift from a mermaid. Okay. You do not want to spurn it. Even pain can be a precious thing when dealt by one whom you care about. You never knew that before. You hold the shell to your heart, which is beating an irregular rhythm, and look at the mermaid. Then very softly you thank her. It is quite all right. It seems only fair, after you shared part of your world with me. I wish to share part of my world with you too. Humans cannot normally descend beneath the ocean's depths, and even if they do, they cannot remain there for very long. You are far too fragile. Would that I could, I would bring you with me to my underwater kingdom where we might be together. Oh, melancholia. But this will have to do for the present. Please, take good care of that shell. Look at it from time to time, and think of me. That would make me very happy indeed. The days pass following this nightly encounter with your aquatic acquaintance with an almost intolerable slowness. You endure the long hours of sunlight as best as you can, by going for long bracing walks amid the heather, foraging for berries and fruits amongst the hedgerows. You even when you have mustered Huh. We go fishing. Fish. Ooh, fish, fish. That's good, that's good. I have been talking a lot. I have like 3 different types of liquids here to supplement me. Okie dokie. I feel much better now. Electrolyte drinks are a lifesaver, I have found. Yay, we cook fish. Yay. Your days might be dull and drab, but your nights comparatively are made of magic. Omoshiroi. Growing very, very attached. Quite interesting. I wonder what happened to like the person who was pursuing us before. Very interesting. Yeah. I suppose we'll find out in due time. She is the first friend you have ever had. Oh. Well, that doesn't bode quite well. But if you do not temper your obsession accordingly, I fear she may very well be your last. Oh ho. Like the sequel, the end of an obsession? Like, oh. I love seeing how, when I was reading like the comments on the sequel game, they're saying they really liked how the themes of this game intertwine into the sequel game. But now I'm like, for me, it's like seeing which themes from this game do I recognize that were in the sequel game. So stuff like attachment, waiting, and obsession. Very intriguing stuff. You want to only show the mermaid how much that you value her. And you hope within time that she will come to value you too. So jealous. So jealous, apparently, of that other human girl. Your self-serving wish to grow closer to the mermaid seems close to being granted. Then posits a curious question. I was wondering, dear one, whether you would mind indulging me. I know this might not seem like an appealing proposition, but I thought it would be remiss of me not to ask. I have seen some of your world, for I have sat on this shore for many, many nights hence, but you have seen nothing of mine. It seems unfair that I should know some of the world that you inhabit, while you know so little of my own. So, would you care to come with me beneath the ocean's waves? There is much that I wish to show you, sights that cannot, I fear, be accurately represented in language alone. Words can be awfully stifling when it comes to communication of experiences such as this. It's quite the florid speech, but at the heart of it beats a simple enough request. The mermaid wishes you to bring you beneath the ocean surface so she might show you her home. A comfortable sense of unease. Yeah, oh, we can't breathe under there. You frown and mistrustfully you look at the ocean. Not blue, but obsidian. The waves moan as they break against the rocks. Hesitantly, you take a step back. You are a little afraid of the sea. You have never submerged yourself beneath the ocean before. You never had the opportunity. You do not even know how to swim. You're fearful for your own safety. Do not look so frightened, dear one. I will be with you, and I will not let you go. You have my word. Has she not told you numerous times that she is nothing if not honest? Excuse me. Misterioso. You trust her not to break her word. She will not leave you beneath the waves. Despite everything, we will trust her. If that is what she wants, then you will accompany her. Oh, I knew that you would agree. Thank you very much for humoring me. I will endeavor to make these next few moments the most memorable you have ever experienced. Now, would you care to come with me? I shall be your guide. The ocean's depths might be dark, but I will not let you get away from me, I promise. A hand which seems to cut through the moonlight, just like a blade. Ooh, interesting. Ooh, I really, really love the prose. It's so nice. The mermaid's hair is glowing, backlit by Celine's glow, so that she almost looks like an angel. The art's so nice. You ought not to look a gift horse in the mouth, or ignore the pleas of a graceful, dignified mermaid. You reach out, your arm shaking like the skinny bough of an ancient tree, and find the mermaid's hand with your own. The mermaid's fingers curl about your own. Her nails, only now you notice how sharp they are, digging into your skin. That's interesting. We have multiple mentions of someone digging fingers into your skin. I think this parallels the dream we had earlier, does it not? That person who was holding your hand, digging her fingernails into your hand and throwing you down into the fountain. That was the first dream our protagonist had when she came here, before she met the mermaid, I think. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. Though the mermaid herself looks very soft, her grip is surprisingly strong. Oh yeah, this parallels the dream, yeah. You do not think if she willed it, you would be able to get away from her. I love the possessiveness here. But why would she want to? She does not mean you any harm. Well, are we gonna drown? Now, let us be on our way. There is much to see in my underwater kingdom. I cannot wait to show it to you. Nostalgic, huh? You have a vague feeling, as you stand on the precipice between your world and that of your aquatic companions, that you might never again be able to smell the salt in the air like this. I think we're drowning. That is just a silly supposition, though. Is it? You are being foolish. The mermaid will return you back to the surface in due course, will she not? Will she? Will she? You hope that she will. Knowing anything from Obsession, This might be the end of the line. You, unlike her, cannot breathe underwater. You open your mouth meaning to ask the mermaid about this fact, but you are not afforded the opportunity to speak. The mermaid has already shifted, her fingers still twined about yours. She dives forward, her body slicing through the surface of the water like a knife, and you inexorably are dragged along with her. Hiya. Oh wow. Oh, look at our cute protagonist. Ooh, look at these fishies. Oh, blushing but also struggling. Oh wow. The mermaid's descent might be graceful, but yours is anything but. You did not think the water would be this cold. It's freezing. You have already been submerged. Your body no longer feels as though it is your own. Your hair is unspooling behind you like a thread, and your skirt is fluttering. Your body rocks to and fro, as though being soothed in a mother's arms. It is a curious feeling, but it is not wholly unpleasant. If only it were not so cold down here, you might find it relaxing. Ah. Your scales all glisten as they arc through the waves like rainbows. They do not look like life forms. They appear, instead to your fairy tale-addled mind, to be ancient relics brought to life through some strange, arcane sorcery. They are pretty. No, that word is not significant enough. They are beautiful. Another repetition. It's pretty. No, that's where it's not right. It's beautiful. You did not know, as you stood upon the shore, how very full of life it was beneath the water's surface. You did not know either how very beautiful these aquatic denizens of the deep were. You have never seen fish like this before, not in real life. You have memories, vague, hazy memories of dissecting a fish once in a particularly gruesome biology lesson, but that feels like a very long time ago now. You would far rather think on your present than dwell upon the past. But the seconds pass, and as they do, the mermaid continues to swim, leading you deeper and deeper into the ocean's depths. While once you were close enough to the surface that the moon's light could still slice through the waves, now it is so very dark you can scarcely see. How long have we been underwater? This does not bode well. This is abune. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the water pressure. Oh yeah. Your vision is beginning to blur. You feel an uncomfortable pressure weighing down on your inert body. You have descended, you realized, with a ripple of anxiety. Too deep. Humans were not meant to descend into these depths. The water, once cold, now feels freezing. It caresses every inch of your exposed flesh, as if to sample what little warmth you might still possess. You shiver, and when you do, you swear that you can hear your teeth chattering, despite the water which stops your ears. The water is stopping up your nostrils. There is so much water down here at the bottom of the ocean. It is endless. The mermaid might be able to breathe underwater, but you are not so very fortunate. Your body is far less sophisticated than hers, and it requires oxygen which to furnish your body with continued strength, not salt water. The thought of trying to inhale the endless water which surrounds you makes you shudder. You would rather not attempt it. You do not have gills. When will the mermaid take you back to the surface? Surely she must know you have fast begun to near your limit. You have been under the water for too long, and it is too cold, and it is so dark now in any event that you cannot see much of anything. The joy you once felt during your underwater adventure has begun to dissipate, just like the last of the oxygen you still possess. It is time to return to the surface now, but how are you to communicate this to the mermaid? You cannot speak, and she is not looking at you. She is staring instead, fixedly at something beyond your comprehension, Something far away, perhaps, in the underwater gloom that you cannot see. Not knowing what else to do, you try and pull your arm free from the mermaid's grasp. You hope that will signal to her that she has grown too carried away in her endeavors, that she ought to cut short your expedition and return you to the shore. The mermaid does not react, however, to your attempt to escape her. Oh, the chat is frozen, I just realized, is it? Huh, no, it looks fine to me. Huh? It looks fine to me. Let me check on the YouTube settings. If there's something I can do. Hi, oh hello, hi, welcome in Kaita VT. Hello, we are just probably nearing this, nearing the end of this specific route. I think, I'm trying to look at some of some settings here, see if there's something I can do, if there's something. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's fine. Yeah, okay, let's continue. Let's continue to drown. Yay! There it goes. Huh? Her grip does not slacken as you had hoped from about your wrist. In fact, it is quite the opposite. It feels as though she is gripping you more tightly than she was, as if to prevent your escape, but why would she do that? You tap on the mermaid's shoulder to get her attention, a gesture which prompts her at last to turn. Her fair hair billows about her, suspended in the water like a shroud. Then she says, in that calm, measured, incredibly reasonable voice of hers, "Yes, dear one, what is it?" If you could, you would open your mouth to reply to her, but alas, you are a human girl, not a fish, and you cannot speak underwater. Any attempt to do so would accomplish naught save filling your pretty little mouth with water. The mermaid really ought to have considered that before she started to ask you questions, which comfort seems to be the last thing on the mermaid's mind. She smiles at you gently, delicately, then says, "I understand. Being underwater for so long must be beginning to take its toll. Do your lungs feel like iron? Are they heavy?" So she does understand your woes. You might not be able to speak, suspended as you are in the dark, murky depths, but communication is not wholly impossible. Honestly, I think recently YouTube streams have been acting a bit wonky, because when I was visiting some streams last night, I noticed these people have thousands and thousands of subscribers, right? But then I tap into their streams and there's a lot of people chatting in the chat, but it says there's only one viewer. So I think YouTube is just having a lot of issues at the moment, maybe. So I'm not sure what I can do about that. But as long as everything seems to be transmitting nicely, that should be okay. Hola, hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in. We are, yes. I'm just about at the end of this, route, presumably, in this game, VN called It Gets So Lonely Here. Alright, let's go. You nod your head emphatically, hoping that this will be enough to make your distress apparent, but yes, that will happen. It is a natural part, or so I have heard, of drowning. ¿Cómo estás? I'm good, yeah. I'm doing well. It is a natural part, or so I have heard, of drowning. Not that I have ever had the opportunity to experience it for myself. Okay, thank you. I am incapable, you see, of meeting my demise in such a manner. Now, what was that? What could she mean? I mean that this was a calculated act on my part. Let me translate that. My apologies. And what is that game about? Actually, it does seem to be available in Spanish and other different languages, actually. So I'll just send the link here. Yes. So this is the link to the game. Yeah, hold on. It should be sending on YouTube in a hot moment, yeah. So that's the game. This was a calculated act on my part. Uh-oh, forgive me, dear one. But the moment you consented to sinking beneath the water with me, your fate was sealed. We're done for. We're done for. Your lungs will be flooded with water soon enough. Then you will die. It is not a pretty way to go. You needn't worry about your clothes floating, disfiguring, or eating fish by fish, though. I will take very good care of it, I promise. Hello! Hi! Hi. Wow. She's gonna take... She wants our corpse and she's gonna take good care of it. That's very reassuring. Oh, this is wonderful. In death, you will look lovely, almost angelic. Is that not what you always wanted? You do not know what the roommate thinks it is exactly that you want, but you think she is laboring under some severe misunderstandings. You would like to try and correct her, but you do not want to die. But of course, you cannot open your mouth. Hold on. Let me save. What a pity. Well, at least it saves me the effort of transcribing your dying pleas. Hiya. I doubt they would be particularly interesting. Okay, narrator? Okay, man. If you want to know why I am doing this, then I would not mind obliging. I have no secrets to keep from you. Other than the secret, perhaps, that upon your first meeting, she nursed within her cold fish's heart the desire to bring about your watery murder. You might have liked to know that before you agreed to sink beneath the ocean surface with her. I am only doing this because I have no choice. The other girl I liked, after all, the one whom I adored, disappeared. Ah. Oh, the art's so pretty. Oh, it is. It's very pretty. Welcome, Ame. We are getting drowned to death by an obsessive mermaid who wants to keep our corpse forever and ever so we can never run away from her. So no one can ever run away from her again. Yay! Hi, I hope you're having a good stream, Zethiel. Doom Fury. Yeah, there's 2 more routes like this with 2 other fairy tale fantasy girls, apparently, who are also going to, probably gonna kill us. Out of love. How wonderful. Yay, we love tragedy. We love whatever is going on here. Hold on, I want to message real quick. Hold on. Mermaid is killing our protagonist by drowning her, and she wants to keep her corpse forever so she can never run away. Yay! Rest in peace. She went away, and I was never afforded the opportunity to see her. You remind me of that girl, though you do not look much alike. You do not act very alike either. But you are both humans who, despite your delicacies, have no shortage of determinations. How your kind is able to live when your lifespans are so very short, and you are susceptible to so very many diseases is a mystery to me. Though my lifespan far eclipses your own, I am far sturdier. I cannot help but marvel at the tenacity of you humans. I know that if I were as fragile as you were, I would not be able to exist in this world. I would be far too afraid. I would see my own death lurking behind every corner, just as you can see your own death looming before you. It is not so very far away now. You can feel it coming closer and closer, enclosing its cold, icy fingers around your throat. You humans are incredible. I cannot help but respect you, weak and pitiful though as you are. She respects your tenacity so very much she wishes to extinguish it? That does not make very much sense. Perhaps my words are confusing you, but it makes perfect sense. To me, at least. My beloved cowherd left to me. I do not know where she went or what happened to her. Perhaps she was murdered by bandits. Perhaps she contracted a horrible disease. Perhaps she simply fell and cracked her skull. I do not know. I will never know. Yeah, that was the previous girl she was in love with, who was, a farmer's daughter, yeah. For many, many days and many, many nights, her disappearance tormented me. I could not help but wonder how it came about, but there were so many possibilities I could not imagine all of them. This thought terrified me. It still does. That is why I am going to take you to my underwater kingdom with me. There, we can be together forever. Nothing will be able to tear us apart then. Amazing. 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 Absolute cinema. Oh, this does remind me of some parts of Obsession too. I will brush your hair and I will dress you in the finest pearls found from the bottom of the seabed. It will be lovely. Much. Get you a girl who takes care of you and kills you. What the hell? It will be lovely. Much, much lovelier than any sort of miserable existence you might be able to eke out above the water. This reminds me of like this really low quality, really badly written like yaoi VN I was reading once. I was only going through it because I liked one of like the character designs. It was like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's so bad, but you can't look away, you know? But like, I remember there being like a similar ending to this where like, the guy that I really wanted to play the root for, he was like, you are now unable to move or speak. You are now my precious doll and I can do whatever I want to you. So that kind of vibe is also here. It's just so so exquisite. In my citadel, you will never be attacked by bandits nor ravaged by diseases. You will be quite safe, I promise. Quite safe, yes, and quite dead too, surely? Well, yes, that is the only unfortunate aspect of my plan. She considers your death nothing more than a mere misfortune. The mermaid might be surprisingly cold after all. Well, it's pretty cold underneath the water, so like, you know. Perhaps you ought to have predicted this. She is part fish. Are fish not cold-blooded like lizards? You probably learned this at some point during biology class, but your lessons are beginning to feel very faint and far away now. Your body is beginning to fail you. Let me drink water. You cannot take much more of this. It is a necessary sacrifice, though, if we are to be happy. I am doing this, you know, for both our sakes. I do apologize for tricking you, but please, try to understand. I really have been lonely. You would be more inclined to sympathize with her, perhaps, if her loneliness was not ushering in your inevitable demise. But you are far too wonderful ending to start off my work shift, Lamel. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Have a good shift. But you are too preoccupied with your dwindling reserves of oxygen to feel much in the way of anything for your captor. You can feel the pressure of the water against your eyes. They are beginning to ache. Perhaps you are crying, you do not know. The water masks much of your anguish. You have been drifting underwater for almost 3 minutes. Oh wow. Oh wow. That is a remarkably long time to go without any air. Your vision is beginning to cloud. Your surroundings, already dark, look darker still, unpleasant and obscure, and not at all like the paradise the mermaids promised you. The pain of being suffocated slowly is far stronger and far more oppressive than the sensation of the mermaid's hand wound tightly around your arm. Is there no escape for you? The prognosis, I am sorry to say, is grim. Your fate, as the mermaid said, really was sealed the moment you met her, luxuriating on these rocks beneath the moonlight. But you'll forgive me if my sympathy is limited. You did bring this upon yourself, you know. You reap what you sow, and in your case you made a series of bad decisions, which led to your untimely demise. Now, what do you want to do? Huh. Will you accept this fate of yours and rest in peace, or will you try to fight against it? I want to see accept your fate. That is a bit of an anticlimactic answer at this juncture in your life story, but I suppose it would be remiss of me to lecture you too much. I am sure you are well aware of what a terrible series of decisions you have made. There's no need for me to belabor the point. That would be boorish, not to mention tedious. I'm rather tired of scolding you, so instead, I think I will content myself with loving you. Hello? What, you thought in your death the mermaid was the only one who would be able to cassette you? I know I have said this before, but you really are naive. You cannot escape me, even if you are at the bottom of the deepest, darkest ocean. Who is the narrator? Is the narrator the person who was chasing her at the beginning? What? The world might have forsaken you, but I never will. I will never leave you. You will never be lonely again. What? What? Well, that's one ending. Load. Alright, let's load this. Let's fight against your fate. Ah, I like that look on your face. It is a look full of determination, the self-same determination which first prompted me to take an interest in you. I can tell that you are not happy with this ending. Let me save. You did not come all of this way after all to drown. That is quite the indecorous demise regardless of how many fine stones and shells the mermaid means to twine through your hair after your death. If you wish to carve out a new story to yourself, then I would be only too happy to indulge you. Just try not to get on the bad side, or good side of any homicidal naiads this time. The drowning of fair maidens is something of a cliché. Your fate is once again in your hands. Now I wonder, which path will you take? Oh, I see. Okay, I see. Alright, I guess we can start going to the village. So you want to go to the village. Good idea. Let us see what further trials await you there. This night is far from over, as much as you wish it was, and there's still so much and more to discover. I wonder what will happen next. You follow the path which leads to... yeah. I'll save my voice. Okay. Okay. Oh, interesting. Her arms will be sturdy from many years of washing She will also be kind to you and compassionate, just like a mother. You do not know what mothers are like. You hardly ever spoke to yours. Ooh, interesting. The one going to like the shore, on like the path to the shore, it has the protagonist imagining what a father is like by imagining like a sailor out on a boat who will take her away from whoever's chasing her. But the plot twist is whoever's, at least what I think, is that the person who's chasing her right now will still always be with her. Interesting. You're only guessing. The only thing you can do is try. Village time. I wonder how much more pleasant this is than the seaside. I can't imagine it's that pleasant, all things considered. Did I not say that time had begun to lose all its meaning? You can see the moon. Hold on. Sunlight set to rise. Okay, you can see the moon more clearly now. Yeah, okay, yeah. You have finally made it. Surely not, but your salvation awaits you. Hold on, I'll be right back for a moment. Gotta use the restroom. Okay, hello, I'm back. Okay. Let's continue. Surely not your salvation awaits you. I don't think so. I think we're gonna die. Huh, it's not as welcoming as you imagined. Huh. Is this the supposed nearby village the mermaid spoke of? And the fact that that other cottage she found near the seaside was also abandoned. It seems like they had to leave in a hurry. Interesting. Huh, you cannot hear anything either, beyond the sound of your own footsteps and the low morning sighing of the wind. It is immediately obvious, even to a naive girl such as yourself, that something terrible must have befallen this village. Oh, we're seeing how it's connected now. So something happened. Something happened. Huh. Nobody here, nobody here. So everyone, all abandoned this place, huh? Yeah, at the very least, we can stay here. An abandoned cottage is not what you are looking for. You would far rather have companionship, would you not? Huh. Keep on going. Need to find someone. Surely the village cannot be completely deserted. There must be one person here at the very least who can help you. That is what you are thinking as you resume your search. Okay. You flit from college to college with precious little to show of your determination, until you make yet another discovery. Ooh. Hello, music. The village has a church. You were so focused on your fantasies of a kindly washerwoman taking you in, you did not pause to entertain the fancy of a kindly nun doing much the same. All hope is not lost. You approach the church, which seems to tower over you despite it being so humble. The church is a small one, but it is stout and sturdy. It must be, for it has withstood centuries, forever standing sentinel on this hill like a relic from a bygone era. Aura of dignified solemnity. Lozenge, that's an interesting way to describe the gravestones. Shaped like crosses. Shaped like angels. Was the protagonist not also described as an angel at some point? Huh. You look at the tombstones with an almost childlike curiosity, forgetting in your examination of the visceral, heart-rending fear which gripped you as you ran through the forest. You are out of the woods now, and you have subconsciously already begun to relax. Huh. Many of these graves are old, indeed. Strain your eyes, but you do not have much luck in this endeavor. Oh well. Such superfluous details are not important. You eventually tire of examining the graves in turn. Someone? Her? Ooh, hello. Ooh, hello. Surely the shovel isn't ominous at all. I love drinking fluids. I love drinking water. Delicious. For some moments you observe her, hiding all the while in the shadow cast by the church, like a furtive lizard clinging to a rocky edifice to shroud itself from the sun. There is no sunlight here, though. There is only the night sky, and the stars and the moon. Hold on. Beneath the moon's light, a silvery implement the girl is clutching shimmers. It takes you a few moments to see that what it is the girl is clutching in her hands. It is not until you see her manipulate it, its sharp edge biting into the earth, that you understand. It is a shovel. This girl is standing at an isolated corner of the churchyard late at night, and she is digging a grave. Well, you suppose she could always be digging a hole for the sake of it. Who up digging they hole, hashtag my hole. But her work seems much too precise for this to be the result of mere whimsy. Should you risk interrupting her? I'm not sure. Do you dare? You get the feeling she would not appreciate it. The shovel in her hands is rather hefty. Bonks you over the head with a shovel, bonks you over the head with a shovel, bonks you. What do you have left to lose? You have come this far. It would be folly to turn back now. It is with this thought in your mind that you decide to approach the strange girl. Your footsteps are quiet. You have grown accustomed to slinking around like a cat, but they are not quiet enough. The girl's senses must be finely tuned because she blinks. Then she turns. Yeah, I really like this design and outfit. Very, very nice stuff. Your eyes meet, and once they do, you feel your breath catch in your throat. You did not have a clear view of the girl before, concealed as you were in the shadows, but now she is looking at you. Now she's looking at you. You can tell that she is pretty. Her skin is very smooth, and her hair, though obscured by a dark hood, is very fair. Girls with smooth hair and smooth skin and fair hair, I think is the pattern. Interesting. Very interesting. Her eyes, meanwhile, are a clear, cool blue like ice. And quite cold. Very long, fair eyelashes, This is like the same description that was given to the mermaid, She is simply too perfect to belong to this world. Yeah, this is very word for word similar to what goes on with the mermaid. Yeah. The shovel she is clutching in her hands looks solid enough, its pointed tip glittering wickedly in the moonlight. Oh no, she's smiling. Is she? Yeah. It is transformative. When she smiles, she looks radiant, angelic almost. Angelic, you say? Hers is a smile so suffused with light, excuse me, that your eyes begin to prickle from it. You are so relieved, you almost feel as if you could cry. It would not be the first time you wept during this night, and neither would it be too surprising if you did. You've been through a lot. You must be exhausted. Oh, it's so good to see another person. I was afraid I was the only person left alive. The only one in the whole world. What the heck even happened? Hello? Now, this is quite the effusive greeting. Hello? She is rather more personable than her apparel would make one suggest. You, a well-bred young lady, cannot help but feel overwhelmed. It is your turn now to be on your guard. Huh. You ask her what she means. What happened? Oh, do you not know? There is an awful lot you do not know. So much, in fact, that it would fill a whole encyclopedia. No, a whole library. You shake your head, ashamed at your ignorance, and the girl frowns. You mustn't be from around these parts. I guess I should have known. This village is a small one, and everybody knows everybody else. The girl's expression falls. At least they used to, back when there were still people to know. That ain't the case now, though. Not after the plague. Oh, it was the plague. The plague. The plague got everyone. There was a plague? That would certainly explain why the village, when you walked through, was so quiet. Did everyone else succumb to the mysterious illness? That's right. It's just me here now. I have not seen another human being in a long, long time. It gets so lonely here. Like the title of the game. Now that is an interesting turn of phrase. It catches inside your head like a burr. Have you heard it before? You do not have much time to ponder this, however, because the girl takes a step towards you. Oh, but where are my manners? They must have gone rusty after being on my own for so long. My apologies, miss. You look like you've come a long way. You said you were a traveler, yes? And your hands are very cold, just like ice. Would you like to come inside? Maybe have something warm to eat and to drink? My home's small, I'm afraid, and my food ain't nothing fancy, but I'd be more than willing to share. It's not every day another girl stops by, especially not one as pretty as yourself. I'm feeling very blessed. Thought she would be more distant. Perhaps you were mixing her up with somebody else. Now what could that mean? Now what could that possibly mean? You are still unsure if you can trust this girl, but her invitation is an appealing one. It is much more appealing, certainly, than spending a night outdoors in the cold, kipping on the graves. What are you, a romantic poet? Please. You make a show of pondering the girl's invitation, but at the very least, you do not want to appear too eager. Your acquiescence is also, alas, an inevitability. Why would you ever refuse her? She is the first friendly face you have seen all night. Without her, you would be all alone. All alone, huh? Your hostess leads you away to a small, humble home. Let me drink. Here we are. Home sweet home. You don't have the heart to tell her that you don't find her home very homey or very sweet. That would be incredibly rude. As a guest, you ought to be more appreciative. Half-heartedly, you look around your newfound surroundings. The ceiling is supported by wooden joists, and it is perilously low. Like a witch's kitchen, huh? A silvery pot. Home. The sharp, sour scent of unwashed bodies? Huh. How, you wonder, does your hostess clean herself? You do not see a bathtub anywhere. Perhaps she does not possess one. It's unremarkable, but better than nothing. At least there's a Did she take off her hood? Oh yeah. Is she a witch? Is she a witch? Brewing a broth with fenny snake fillets? Huh. Yes, I think this is just about done, the girl says to nobody in particular. Do you want something? It looks as though you've come quite a long way, and you must be hungry. More divine than the trumpets of God's most loyal angels. You could eat a what now? You're so hungry you could eat a horse. Not that there are any horses in the immediate vicinity. I thought you'd like the sound of that. Just give me a few moments. Your hostess retrieves 2 earthenware bowls. She pours whatever it is she's cooking. What is she cooking? We don't know. We just don't know. This she serves with bread, which is so hefty it could be used as a murder weapon. Anyone want to, kill each other with bread? It's not much, I'm afraid. It's only soup and bread. It should take the edge off your appetite, though. Sorry, I have been speaking for a lot, so I find myself a bit winded. But yeah, I just need to take deep breaths. Konbanwa. Hello, konbanwa. Yoroshiku. What's... yeah, yes. Welcome in. Yokoso. Yokoso was the word. I knew it started with yo, but I went to the more common yoroshiku. Yokoso. Hashinde yokoso. Yeah, we are playing. More like reading this game. We just finished one path where we just got drowned by a mermaid, and now there's this girl who is probably also going to kill us. Nihongo jouzu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Motto練習したい。今勉強します。そして日本語のクラスに行きます。月曜日と水曜日にクラスに行きます。けどこの週は this week クラスがありません。はい。So yeah, I'm just on break right now. So I'm just like having fun and playing games. The soup does not look like anything you would typically consume, but the soup's poor presentation does not dissuade you. It is true enough that people eat first with their eyes, but when one is hungry enough, one becomes obliging to eat almost anything. What was she cooking? Okay. Naruhodo. Why else do you think that people, when stranded on desert islands, will resort to cannibalism? Well, there was cannibalism mentioned in the game's content warnings, so I think that's gonna be happening in this route. well, I'm studying English. That's great. That's great. いいね、いいね。このゲームでは、いろいろ英語の、言葉は難しいですね。Even for me as an English speaker, there are some words in this game that are a bit difficult to understand. So don't worry if you can't understand some of the words. Yes, but I hope you can still study somehow. Yes. もっと聞く練習。はいはい。Humans are creatures of necessity. You like to wrap yourselves up in pretensions, but in actuality, you are not much better than animals. You are so hungry your stomach is achingly empty that you certainly descend upon your food like an animal. Your teeth glint, your incisors gleam, and soon you have consumed all that the hostess has offered you. Your hostess watches while you eat, and she giggles once you have finished. Did you enjoy that? Oh, you catch your hostess's gaze, suddenly abashed. You were so hungry you failed to account for her judgment. Now you have some food in your belly, though, and you have been suitably warmed. Your old self-consciousness is returning. Did you not make a fool out of yourself? You demur shyly. I don't know what this word means. Looking at your lap, fearful, all the while of what your hostess might be thinking of you. You do not want her to take against you. Fortunately for you, however, and for your fragile ego, your hostess is not the judgmental sort. She is not like the girls you grew up with. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's nice to see my food being appreciated so heartily. I know I'm not the best, but I've been practicing for a long while. I used to cook for my father all the time, you see. This remark catches your attention. Quizzically, you look at your hostess, your abashment over your animalistic eating habits suspended. What happened to her father? It seems a grim thing to contemplate after having eaten, but... Didn't your hostess mention something about a plague? Yes, your hostess says, her voice soft now and serious. That's right. There was a plague. And what of the villagers? What of her father? They're all gone now. みんなはもういないですよ. Gone? Yes, you see. Your hostess rearranges herself upon her chair, one slender leg folded over the other. Then she begins her tale in earnest. My family has a history. We've lived here for centuries by the church, so as we can tend to the graveyard. This is not like standard English right here. This one is more indicating this means she is speaking with a certain accent. So yeah. So this abode is centuries old then. It would certainly explain the dirt. My father used it to prepare bodies for burial back when he was alive. He built the coffins and he dug the graves, and he lowered the coffins into the dirt. I know it might sound like an awful job, but somebody's got to do it. There's no sense averting our eyes from death, not when it happens to the best of us. It's a noble profession, one that's been handed down in our family for generations. My father's father was a gravedigger, and so was my father's father's father, and my father's 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 father. So she is a gravedigger, but I also wonder if she's We'll see. Digging graves is in our blood. It's who we are. My. That was a surprisingly pretty speech coming from a girl who lives in the countryside. A girl who is without much in the way of education. It is apparent just to listen to her and the way she slurs her syllables together that she has never had any You have a silky voice. Thank you. I hope you are enjoying. Thank you. That she has never had any elocution lessons, not like you. Elocution. Yeah, this is an unfamiliar word to me as well, but if I had to guess, I think this means something like practicing the way you speak to be more formal. There is a determination, however, to her, and a pride in her genealogy, which gives her a respectable aura. You cannot help but be impressed. So, you ask your hostess, does that make her one in a long line of gravediggers? Yes, your hostess, the gravedigger, says, that's about right, though I was never supposed to be a gravedigger myself. It's not a woman's profession. That's what everybody says. My father didn't mind that though. He taught me everything he knew, and then some. I might be a woman, but I've plenty of upper body strength. I can dig a grave just as well as my father could, without breaking a sweat. In the other route with the other character, with the mermaid, it was mentioned that the mermaid also had a lot of upper body strength. So I think it's interesting that all these girls who are going to kill the protagonist have a lot of traits in common. I find that very intriguing, very interesting. 面白いだよね. To the despair of my mother up in heaven, I am sure. I'm sure if she were still alive, she'd rather I focus on more feminine pursuits like basket weaving or sewing to better attract a suitor. But everyone's dead. Yeah, not that that would do much good now. Yeah, everyone's dead. I'll keep quiet and listen. Yeah, you are free to chat if you'd like, but if you'd like to stay quiet, that's also okay. Yeah, anyone, and it's all good. Just make sure we're all just chill and accepting of everyone here. Yes. Hi, so. There's nobody around who'd court me. Not for miles and miles. Oh, is this where her attachment to the protagonist starts? I see. And what happened to her mother? She died when I was very young during childbirth. I was only 5 years old. So she has a younger sibling. Oh, well. You can relate to her, at least, upon this point. Your parents are not dead, at least not as far as you are aware, but you have not seen them in an awfully long time. They sent you away as soon as you were old enough, and they never once bothered to check up on you. For many years, there have been no letters, nor any visits. You offer the gravedigger your condolences. You do not know if they will help, but you feel like you cannot say nothing. That would seem heartless. The gravedigger, however, does not seem too upset by this turn of events because she smiles, albeit somberly. It's all right. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's all right. It was ages ago. I don't remember her too well, and I've never really had the luxury of sitting around and feeling sorry for myself. I had too much work to do. Around the house, you ask? That, too. I was the oldest child, so it was my job, after my mother died, to manage the sweeping and the cooking, and looking after all of my siblings, too. You blink, intrigued, and glance about your hostess's humble lodgings. You do not see any siblings in the immediate vicinity. Where could they be? The gravedigger must have noticed your roving eyes. Sorry for my poor English. Don't even worry about it. 心配しない。心配しないですよ。はいはい。聞くだけはいいです。それはいいです。The gravedigger must have noticed your roving eyes. You are not being exactly subtle because she shakes her head. I had siblings, 2 younger brothers. They're both gone now. Oh, you should have known. You apologize to the gravedigger for your lack of tact, but she does not seem upset by this faux pas. Oh yeah, faux pas. I think that's a phrase we borrowed. I forget, is that French? I don't remember. ありがとう。ありがとう。はいはい。読みます。はいはいはい。ちょっと少し漢字を読みます。はいはい。だから、心配しないで。はいはいはい。英語と日本語で、喋れませんか？Yes, yes. You apologize to the gravedigger for your lack of tact, but she does not yet seem upset by this faux pas. Don't apologize. すごい。いやいやいや。Don't apologize. It's not your fault. My brothers weren't long for this world anyway. The youngest, he died when he was still a babe, and the oldest, he died before he reached double digits. So he died before he was 10 years old. I was upset about it at the time, of course, but I've come to terms with it. Life's a fleeting thing in this wicked old world. That's something you'll learn in this trade. Digging graves, I mean. I've dug graves for the elderly and the infirm, but I also dug graves for young babes still in their swaddling clothes. That's the nature of death. It comes for all of us in the end, no matter how old we are, no matter how much money we have, no matter how good or bad we've been. It's the great equalizer. Or so I've heard. A chill creeps down your spine as you listen to your hostess's speech. She is not wrong, but the inherent mortality of all humankind is not something you wish to contemplate. Just to let you all know, in about 15 plus 3, 17 minutes, I will be ending the stream because I will have been streaming for 3 hours already. I think 3 hours, yeah, 3 hours. And that's quite a long time for me. I know I can go to 5 hours, but that's kind of rare. Let's see. Yeah, hi. 17分の後で、配信が終わります。僕は3時間、僕はもう3時間、配信している。はい。So yes. Just to let you all know. It is too disturbing. For the longest of times, my family was a small one. It was just my father and me, but that was fine. It was how I liked it. I was very happy, even if our lives weren't the best. I've never had any fancy clothes to wear, and we can't dine on the finest of foods. In the grand scheme of things, we ain't anything that special, but I've always felt otherwise. I thought that I was blessed. We knew hardship, of course, and famine, but that's just the way life is around here. When food supplies were low, we always helped one another out. I had my father, but I also had the rest of the village. We all looked after one another, and things always worked out in the end. So everyone is helping each other. At least they did, but they're all dead now. Until the plague happened. Yes, she had mentioned the plague. You had been wondering when she was going to return to that topic. You suppose that the plague is the reason that the village, as you traversed it, was so very empty. Huh. I know this has been reiterated multiple times, but like our protagonist is not getting it. Has to be repeated multiple times for her. You'd suppose right. The plague tore through the village. I don't remember when. It feels like it was a while ago, but maybe it wasn't that long after all. It feels like I've been on my own for centuries, but that's interesting. That's interesting. What did she mean by that? Well, that's not concerning at all. 面白い。面白い。だよね。Your hostess's eyes begin to cloud over. She looks as though she is entrenched within her own memories. What could she be remembering? You have never seen a plague before, though you have heard of them in your history lessons. Your history professor was quite enthusiastic about the subject. She talked about piles of dead bodies stacked up on the streets and stacked up in the wooden carts come to take them away, with no shortage of aplomb. Yeah, I don't know that word either. Interesting. She was a strange woman, your history professor. The plague came on very suddenly. There was no warning. One day, everyone was fine, and the next, they were all dead. It is with no small amount of anxiety that you eye the gravedigger. Then you ask worriedly, surely they could not all have died? Is that not an exaggeration? Oh, if only. I wish I was exaggerating, but it's the truth, honest to God. The people in the village died one after another, just like that. I saw what that plague does to people firsthand. My father was one of the first people who caught it. I think one of the bodies which came through that we buried must have had it. Not that I know for certain. I'm just guessing. Still. My father didn't have an easy time of it. His skin turned all gray and clammy, and he complained of a horrible fever. They were night sweats and stomach cramps. And then there were the boils. The boils? Pustules. They were the size of eggs and they were full of pus. When they burst, it stunk. The whole house was full of it. The stink of death. Oh, that's gross. Oh. 悪いよね. The wise woman of the village came to see if she could be of any use, but it was no good. 無理だった. My father was too far gone already. She took one look at him, lying on his deathbed, and she shook her head. She said she didn't want to get any closer. So, あれはひどい運命だった. I can't say I blame her. It was a ghastly sight. I didn't appreciate it at all. We didn't appreciate it at the time though. It felt like she was turning her back on us. I wished her ill. I remember that after she left. Until a few days passed and she fell sick too. Now the mystery here is, how is she alive? Why everyone else died, but she is alive? And she mentioned she felt like she was alone for centuries. That does not seem very right. Then I felt bad for cursing her. I couldn't help but worry if it was all my fault. It's silly, I know, but The gravedigger closes her eyes. She seems She seems to squeeze her lids together until her lashes melt like flecks of fallen snow. Her shoulders, which are very slender, are shaking. She looks as though she might, at any moment, fall apart. It wasn't long after that the rest of the village fell ill. They all had the same symptoms as my father. The clammy skin, and the fever, and the boils. The boils grew, and they burst, and then they died in screaming, stinking agony. Hidoi. Hidoi datta. My father died too, only 3 days after he fell ill. But I think even that was 3 days too many. I didn't want my father to die, of course. I did everything I could to help him, but it was all pointless. None of my herbal salves had any impact. I couldn't make a blind bit of difference. Alls I did was stand about his bedside, telling him it'd be all right, until his eyes sank into his skull like 2 black stones, and his mouth dried out. During that last day, before he died, he might have been a corpse already. He didn't look at me. He didn't speak to me. He just lay in bed with his eyes closed, groaning. I'd never wished any ill on my father before. During those moments, The gravedigger squeezes her hands, which are resting upon her blood-clad lap, into fists. She trembles. Then, in a voice throbbing with awful emotion, she says, "I wish he had just died." Well, based on her anecdote, it does not sound like she had overly long to wait. I wonder if she would consider that a silver lining. No, perhaps not. The gravedigger is still shaking. She will not cry, will she? Nakanaide? You hope not. Awkwardly, you look at the gravedigger. You are not sure how to soothe her, but you know you must make some sort of an effort, even if it is a token one. Yasashi. You shift upon your chair, which feels very cold and hard beneath your thighs. Then you say very softly that you are sorry. It is not much, but it is all you can think of saying. You had thought initially that your situation was comparable to that of the gravedigger, but now you can see that this is not the case. Her suffering has far outstripped your own. Not that suffering is a competition, of course. Your apology feels inadequate to your ears, largely because it is, but the gravedigger seems not to mind it. She is very big-hearted, that girl, to smile at you so, no matter how foolish you may be. Do you really deserve such kindness? Oh, again with the apologies. It's all right, like I said. You didn't cause any of this. I'm not upset at you. I'm not upset at you. I'm just... Kimi no sei janakute. I'm just recounting what happened, is all. Kyoku dake. I do wonder, though, why I never fell sick myself. Yeah, that's my question. That's my question. What the heck? I thought I was going to die. Watching it with your music in the background. Thank you. Are you listening to my music from my channel? So I'd always prepare for the Reaper to come and take me away. But maybe he wasn't interested. Maybe he'd already satiated his appetite on all the others. That, or maybe he thought he'd have to leave me alive for practicality's sake. With my father gone, who else would tend to the dead? I was the only person left. You have a wonderful singing voice. Ah, thank you so much. ありがとうございます。ありがとう。いえ。On Wednesday, I will hold a karaoke stream. 月曜日に歌枠配信があります。はい。So, I think if you are able to, if you can, please come to the karaoke stream on Wednesday. はい。歌枠配信。月曜日に。けど、多分、今火曜日、日本で火曜日ですか？そう、だから、僕は今日、僕の場所で、今日は、月曜日。はい。だから、日本で、僕の歌枠配信、多分、木曜日。はい。木曜日。はい。ありがとうございます。Alright. I will continue reading. I was the only person left, and by the end of it all, so I had to bury the people in the village. They're all resting peacefully now under the earth, where the plague can't reach them. On the one hand, I'm happy for them. They were able to escape from all their suffering. When I think about all the people I've lost, though, the gravedigger tenses. Then she sniffs. 泣いているか? When I think about the kindly washerwoman who helped me scrub the mud and dirt off my clothes. Aha! So this village did have its fair share of washerwomen after all. It would seem that your earlier insistence upon this particular point was not without merit. And the handsome young farmhands who used to flirt with me. The priest who preached at the church, who told us wonderful tales of paradise, and the children who would skip stones on the lake and play hopscotch in the streets. I can't help but feel so lonely. Hi. The name of the game, it gets so lonely here. Interesting. The gravedigger's eyes begin to shine once she has finished her address with tears, but she does not let them fall. She is being very brave, much more so than you are. Anxiously, you extend a hand towards her, meaning to... What? Give her a hug? You do not know her well enough. Pat her head? That would be infantilizing. Your Japanese is kawaii. 僕は頑張ります。There's still a lot I have to learn. もっと勉強します。はい。話すは難しい。話すは難しい。だから、もっと練習したい。日本語だけの配信やりたい。いつか。いつ知らない。That would be infantilizing. Squeeze her hand? Perhaps that could be misconstrued as a romantic overture, and that is the last thing you want. You endured no more than your fair share of teasing over that. You sit there for a few moments, paralyzed by indecision, as the gravedigger poorly suppresses her sniffles. In the end, you let your arm drop back to your side. Your hand rests upon your lap, as useful as damp kindling. You do not know what to do with it. You do know that you ought to say something, though, to show that you heard her plight, and that you care. You do not know what this something should be, however. I will take your hard work as an example to push myself and to strive for improvement. 僕らは頑張ります。はいはいはい。いつも頑張ります。We will always work hard to study and improve. いいねいいね。No words could ever console the gravedigger. They would never be enough. They can offer some balm, though, however, to the bereaved, and so, after a pause just long enough to be awkward, you offer your condolences. What else can you say? Oh, no, the gravedigger replies, wiping a few stray tears away with the back of her arm. It's all right. I've grown used to it, really. Being on my own, I mean. It ain't so bad, really. And I'm not alone now, at least. I've met you. Hi, hi, 一緒に together, 一緒に yay! I've met you. You'll keep me company, won't you? Well, what can you say to that? You aren't callous enough to trample this poor girl's hopes, are you? You know full well yourself how awful that feels. You can do nothing but nod, a response which makes the girl smile more widely still. That's wonderful. I know you're just a traveler who's passing through, but I can offer you bread and board until you leave. I do not think we will be able to leave. I have food enough and a spare bedroom. I can make it up for you right now. You must be tired after your long journey. Just give me a moment. When the scene changes, I think I will end this stream. The gravedigger rises to her feet in a flurry of excitement, then retreats. You watch as she departs, a little too eager to please and frown. The girl's home is a small, humble home with a low ceiling and slanted walls. You cannot imagine such a small dwelling possessing a spare bedroom. This so-called spare bedroom is, in all likelihood, the room her father slept in before the plague carried him off. You do not think you would much like to spend the night in the room of a dead man. Well, what choice do you have? You are tired, wretchedly so. Why, it is all you can do to keep your eyes open. While you were running through the forest desperate to escape your pursuer, you had no thought in mind beyond finding some safe sanctuary in which you could recuperate. Now that you have found said sanctuary, it would be unreasonable to find faults with it. You ought to learn to be more thankful for what you have. There are many, many people in the world with less. Alright. Yeah. I think I will stop here. Yes. Alright. I want to say thank you everyone for coming to the stream. I will probably I'm not sure if I'll play more of this on stream. We'll see. There's a lot of other variety of games I also would like to play. Yeah, we'll see. I'll figure out my schedule for next week. So, next stream is going to be on Wednesday, around the same time. So, about 3 hours before right now is when the next stream will start. You can check the my stream schedule on my social media or my community note posts. Let's see. And also, you should check out the new cover, which is Thisselect. It's a very cool song. I really like it. But yes, thank you everybody, and I will see you next time. 今日もせつなくんは頑張りました。そしておつけみ。Okay, bye bye. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. おつけみ。
Can you wipe away
when you said this love